there, and welcome to the Sleepy Nature Channel. You find yourself standing at the edge of a wide, open sky, as if the world beneath you has quietly stepped aside to let you rise. There's no rush here, just a soft warmth in the air, the kind that feels like sunlight filtered through a gentle dream. You breathe in slowly, and the air seems lighter, almost weightless, as though it wants to lift you just a little higher with every inhale. You take a step forward, and the ground beneath your feet dissolves into a quiet current of warm wind. It isn't frightening. It feels like stepping into a soft cloud, one that knows exactly how to hold you. The breeze gathers around you like a calm companion, lifting you in a smooth, steady motion, as if it has been waiting for this moment, waiting for you. Below, the world stretches out in shades of blue and green. Forests appear like soft velvet patches, rivers glimmer like ribbons of silver, and distant mountains rise like gentle waves. The higher you drift, the more everything below blends into a peaceful tapestry. The sounds fade, replaced by a serene hush, a silence so full and soothing you can almost feel it brushing against your skin. Around you, the first layers of clouds appear, thin, delicate veils drifting lazily across the sky. They move slowly, as though time itself has softened. When you pass through them, the air cools just slightly, refreshing but never cold. Droplets cling to your arms like tiny pearls, and for a moment, it feels like the sky is welcoming you with its quiet touch. Each cloud has its own personality. Some swirl in gentle spirals, their edges glowing faintly in the light. Others stretch in long, smooth currents that flow like rivers in the air. As you move through them, you sense how alive the sky is, how it breathes and shifts with hidden rhythms. You drift with it, letting the warm wind guide your path. At times, you notice the way sunlight scatters around you, turning the mist into soft halos. Tiny sparkles drift in the air, like floating dust made of light. You lift your hand, and they gather near your fingertips before drifting away again. You don't try to hold them. Their beauty lies in their softness, in how effortlessly they move. Far ahead, a wide, glowing cloud appears, its surface smooth like untouched snow, though it isn't cold at all. You land gently on it, your weight sinking just slightly, as if the cloud has learned how to cradle you. The world beneath is hidden now, and the only horizon is an ocean of white, rising and falling in slow-motion waves. If you listen closely, you can hear something, an airy murmuring, almost like the whisper of distant waves brushing against a shore made of sky. Here, every moment feels stretched. You're not moving quickly, yet the scenery shifts around you in long, graceful arcs. A flock of birds glides nearby, small silhouettes that ride the air effortlessly. They never flap their wings. They simply tilt into the wind and let the invisible current carry them. Watching them, you feel the same rhythm entering your body, as if you too have learned how to drift without effort. Above, the higher clouds seem thinner, almost transparent. They glow with soft pastel hues, lavender, rose, pale gold. The colors blend with the air itself, making it difficult to tell where the sky ends and light begins. You breathe in again, and the colors seem to move with your breath, shimmering gently at the edges of your vision. You start walking across the cloud, each step slow and unhurried. The texture changes beneath you, sometimes like soft wool, sometimes like warm sand, sometimes like nothing at all. You feel supported, but also free, as though gravity is not a rule here, but a suggestion you no longer need to obey. As you move, small details begin to reveal themselves, the faint outlines of tiny droplets hanging suspended in the air, the way the wind curls around your arms as if guiding your steps, the gentle hum of distant air currents that rise and fall like soft breathing. Each moment feels like a miniature discovery, quiet and easy, wrapped in calm. A breeze brushes gently against your back, and you allow it to guide you forward. The cloud beneath you slopes downward in a smooth, effortless path, like a gentle slide carved by the sky itself. You follow it, letting the soft descent carry you toward a new layer of drifting mist below. The wind remains steady, warm, familiar, almost like a friend who walks just behind you, ready to steady you whenever you need it. As you sink into the next cloud layer, the light dims for just a moment. The mist becomes thicker and cooler, wrapping around you in a soft embrace. You can sense the moisture in the air, tiny droplets that cling gently to your skin. The sound here is different, muffled, deeper, like being inside a quiet dream where every echo is softened by kindness. You pause for a moment, simply to feel it, the serene weight of the cloud around you, the dimmed glowing light filtering through, the steady warmth of the wind that still holds you. There is no destination, no time, no hurry, only this quiet drifting between layers of the sky, soft, warm, endless. And as you stand there, feeling the sky breathing around you, you sense that the journey is just beginning. You sink a little deeper into the cloud layer, and the mist thickens around you like a soft blanket. The air feels cooler here, but not cold, just enough to remind you how high you've drifted. Each breath tastes clean and faintly sweet, as if the cloud itself carries a hint of distant rain. The world grows quieter, and you can sense how the sky shifts with every tiny movement you make. When you step forward, the cloud moves with you, parting softly under your feet. It doesn't break or crumble. Instead, it flows like warm fog, swirling around your ankles in gentle spirals. You walk slowly, letting the mist curl and reshape with every motion. The quiet rhythm feels almost like walking through warm, drifting smoke. A soft glow appears ahead, subtle at first, then growing brighter, like the light behind a curtain. You move toward it, guided not by sight alone, but by the feeling of warmth radiating through the mist. The cloud thins gradually, the haze peeling away as sunlight filters through in long, golden beams. They stretch across the sky like sunlit ribbons, illuminating tiny droplets that float suspended in the air. Each droplet catches light differently. Some shimmer with pale gold, others with faint blues or soft rose colors. When you brush your fingers through them, they scatter gently, swirling around your hand before drifting back into place. The colors seem to hum softly, a quiet vibration that resonates in your chest more than your ears. The warm wind returns, circling behind you like an invisible companion. It nudges you forward with the gentlest touch, not urging you, just reminding you to keep moving, to let yourself drift. As you follow the warm current, the cloud beneath your feet smooths out, becoming almost glass-like, though still soft and warm. It feels solid enough to hold you, but light enough that each step seems to float. You notice how the sky opens up ahead of you. Layers of cloud stretch out in every direction, some towering like slow mountains of vapor, others flat and glowing like fields of quiet white. They rise and fall in gentle waves, and for a moment you feel as if you're standing on the surface of a calm, silent ocean suspended in the air. A distant breeze sends ripples across the clouds, the way wind stirs water. The movement is barely noticeable, but you can see how it spreads outward, changing the way the light catches each curve. The entire sky seems to respond, adjusting, shifting, a vast breathing system that moves with patient grace. You walk toward a patch of cloud that looks different from the rest, a long, gentle ridge that slopes upward. As you step onto it, the cloud lifts you slightly, as if acknowledging your presence. You feel yourself rising again, carried by the invisible hand of warm air. The ascent is so slow, so smooth, that you barely feel it at first. But then, the horizon begins to widen, revealing layers of soft blue above and rolling white below. Higher up, the clouds become more delicate. Thin, silky strands float like stretched threads of light, drifting in long arcs. When you reach them, they brush against your face with a faint coolness that feels almost like a whisper. The droplets cling to your eyelashes before falling away like tiny gems dissolving into the air. You pause here, letting the sky settle around you. The wind quiets for a moment, and the silence deepens into something serene, like being inside a dream that has no edges. You close your eyes and feel the air lift your hair, the warmth at your back, the faint glow behind your eyelids. You breathe slowly, sinking into the softness of the moment. When you open your eyes again, the world above you has shifted. A new cloud formation rises nearby, tall, luminous, shaped by the gentle sculpting of the wind. Its upper edges glow with sunlight, while the lower parts fade into blue mist. It looks almost like a floating mountain made of light. You walk toward it, each step slow and quiet. The cloud surface changes as you approach, turning from soft white to pale gold. The wind seems to respond to your direction, swirling gently ahead of you, opening a clear, warm path. As you reach the base of the luminous cloud, you feel it humming faintly beneath your feet. Not a sound, but a sensation, a deep, soothing vibration like the quiet pulse of the sky itself. The warmth spreads through your steps, up your legs, into your chest. It feels grounding, though nothing is truly solid here. You climb a little higher, guided by the warmth and the steady push of the wind. The air grows clearer, brighter. The horizon stretches endlessly, and you can sense once again that you are only at the beginning of what the sky wants to show you. The air around you grows even brighter as you climb the gentle slope of the glowing cloud. Each step feels softer than the last, as if the sky is learning how to cushion your movement. The cloud beneath you changes texture again, no longer wool-like or glass smooth, but something in between, like warm sand that shifts just enough to hold your shape before settling back into stillness. As you rise, the horizon stretches into a soft curve, the clouds rippling outward like slow ocean swells. You feel yourself drifting higher without any effort at all. The warm wind moves beside you like a companion, staying just close enough that you can sense it guiding the current beneath your feet. When you reach the top of the luminous ridge, the view opens fully. Below, the clouds fold into one another in vast rolling patterns, each layer drifting in its own rhythm. Some move quickly, sweeping in long silver lines. Others hover almost motionless, glowing with a steady pale light. You can see the way they catch sunlight, scattering it in tiny sparkles that seem to float up toward you. A deep calm enters your chest as you look across this sky ocean. The silence settles gently around you, softening every thought. The world feels expanded here, wide enough to hold anything, yet quiet enough to ask nothing of you. A soft current of air circles around your shoulders and nudges you toward another cloud formation nearby. It rises like a great white island, its edges rounded and smooth, bathed in gentle light. You move toward it slowly, letting the warm wind guide your steps. Each motion feels effortless. You drift more than you walk. As you approach the cloud island, the air thickens with a faint shimmer. Tiny droplets float in the space ahead, suspended like dust caught in sunlight. When you step through them, they cling to your skin in cool specks before melting away. The sensation is delicate, almost electric, like touching something alive, but peaceful. At the base of the cloud, the surface curves upward in a smooth slope. You place your foot on it, expecting softness, but what you feel is a gentle lift instead. The cloud seems to rise to meet you, buoyant and warm. It carries you upward in a slow glide, not quite floating, but not quite walking either. Halfway up, a breeze passes across the cloud surface, making the mist ripple in smooth waves. The movement spreads outward like a quiet pulse. You watch it travel, shifting the light and changing the texture of the cloud as it goes. It reminds you of the way water reacts when a leaf touches its surface. Subtle, graceful, alive. At the top of the cloud island, you find a flat expanse, wide and gently curved. The colors of the sky change here. The blue deepens slightly, merging with soft lavender and pale gold that seem to drift without form. It feels like standing in a place where light itself is learning how to move. You notice a faint circular shape forming in the air before you, not a solid object, but a ring of mist swirling slowly in a perfect arc. It hovers just above the surface of the cloud, spinning at a pace so slow you barely see the movement. As you approach, the ring opens slightly, like a breath being released. The warm wind rises behind you, guiding you forward once more. When you step through the misted circle, the air on the other side feels different, lighter, clearer, charged with a delicate glow. Your footsteps sound softer, though there is no real sound at all. The cloud beneath your feet becomes warmer, almost like sunlight held in a gentle palm. Suddenly, you notice something new in the sky above. Thin strands of cloud stretch in graceful arcs across the blue, curving like threads of silk caught in a light breeze. They shimmer faintly, reflecting colors so subtle they shift only when you move. They seem to be drawing a path in the air, inviting you upward. You begin to climb again, this time moving toward those delicate arcs. The cloud beneath you firms slightly, as if preparing to lift you higher. You let the warm wind surround you, supporting your next steps. As you ascend, the light around you grows softer, becoming diffuse and warm, as though the sky is exhaling a long, slow sigh. When you reach the first of the arcing clouds, you stretch out your hand and feel the coolness of the mist. It flows around your fingers in smooth ribbons, drifting away like silk underwater. As you move through the arcs, they drift aside gently, parting to make a path that feels both natural and mysterious. The wind steadies again, wrapping you in its warmth. You feel it lifting you, not suddenly, but gradually, with the patience of something ancient and kind. You rise above the cloud island, watching it shrink slightly beneath you until it looks like a glowing hill floating in an endless white sea. As you continue upward, the sky around you shifts once more. The blue deepens, the light warms. The clouds below look softer, almost glowing from within, and you realize the air itself is carrying you toward another layer, a quiet, luminous space you have not yet reached. As you drift toward the next layer of sky, the air grows noticeably warmer, not hot, just comfortably, soothingly warm, like sunlight filtered through soft fabric. The warmth settles gently across your shoulders and along your arms, and with each slow breath it seems to spread deeper, easing you into a state of quiet weightlessness. Below you, the cloud island shrinks into a gentle, rounded shape. From this height, it resembles a glowing mound floating in a white sea, its edges slowly dissolving into the surrounding mist. You watch it for a moment, feeling a faint pull of admiration for its calm, unhurried presence. It doesn't diminish, it simply blends into the sky, becoming part of the endless softness beneath you. Ahead, the next layer reveals itself gradually. At first, it appears as nothing more than a pale shimmer in the air. But as you rise closer, delicate structures take form, thin bridges of mist that stretch horizontally like soft threads. They drift slowly, yet remain connected, weaving a floating tapestry that ripples with every gentle breeze. The wind shifts behind you, warm and guiding. It doesn't push, it invites. When you move forward, the threads of mist adjust, aligning into a smooth, gentle pathway. The moment your foot touches the first thread, it holds you with surprising steadiness. The surface feels cool to the touch but supports your weight, as though formed of something both soft and purposeful. Each step creates a subtle glow beneath your feet, not bright, just a faint, pearly shimmer that ripples outward. This pathway stretches ahead in elegant curves, rising and falling like a bridge designed by the sky itself. You follow its rhythm, letting your steps match the quiet pulse of light that flows through the threads. As you walk, you notice how the space around you changes. The air becomes clearer, almost transparent, and you can see fine droplets suspended everywhere, tiny spheres reflecting the colors of the sky. Some glimmer with hints of gold, others with soft blues or faint pinks. When you pass through them, they swirl gently, gathering in slow spirals before drifting apart again. You pause for a moment, letting the droplets brush against your face and hands. Their coolness refreshes you, like dipping your fingers into a calm stream. Every movement you make sends a soft ripple through the air, and for a moment, it feels as if you're not walking on the sky, but through it. Ahead, the pathway widens into a broad, luminous platform. The surface is smooth and bright, glowing with a light that feels warm without being intense. As you step onto it, the warmth radiates upward through your feet, spreading through your legs and chest like a quiet, nourishing breath. You stand still for a while, taking in the view. From here, the sky stretches in all directions, vast and welcoming. The layers of clouds below form gentle waves, soft and slow-moving. Higher up, faint shapes drift lazily, thin spirals, soft pillars, glowing arcs that curve like celestial brushstrokes painted across the blue. A gentle vibration hums through the platform beneath you. Not sound, more like a sensation, a soft reminder of the sky's own heartbeat. You breathe deeply, matching your rhythm to it. The harmony is subtle but comforting, as if the sky has folded itself around you in a warm embrace. A new current of wind brushes your cheek. It's warmer than the last, and it circles you slowly as though studying the shape of your presence. Then it moves towards the far edge of the platform, stirring the mist there and revealing a narrow passage through the clouds. The opening glows faintly, lined with drifting droplets that shimmer like tiny lanterns. You understand the invitation without thinking. The passage feels safe, gentle, prepared. The wind settles behind you once more, steady and warm. You take a slow step toward the glowing opening. The air shifts again, lighter, cleaner, carrying a barely perceptible scent of rain and sunlight. And as you enter this new passageway of mist and light, you feel yourself being guided toward yet another level of the sky's endless softness. The passage you enter narrows gently at first, curving like a soft tunnel made from drifting cloud. The mist around you shifts in slow spirals, weaving itself into translucent walls that rise and fall with the movement of the air. Each breath you take feels a little lighter, as if the air within this corridor has been sifted and softened before reaching you. The wind moves in gentle patterns at your back, steady and warm. It doesn't rush you, it simply stays close, like a companion walking silently a few steps behind. The quiet here is different, rounder, wrapped in a hum so soft it feels more like a distant memory than a sound. Your footsteps make no noise at all. They feel more like impressions, forming briefly in the mist before fading. As you move deeper into the passage, the cloud walls begin to glow with a subtle radiance. Not bright, just a tender light that pulses faintly with each shift of the wind. The glow spreads along the misty surface in slow waves, reminding you of sunlight passing behind a curtain. It doesn't illuminate the space so much as warm it, creating an atmosphere that feels both safe and open. Tiny droplets float along the walls like suspended pearls. When you brush your fingers along them, they vibrate gently, ringing with a sensation that could almost be described as a whisper of light. They drift forward with you, gathering for a moment before scattering like small fragments of a quiet dream. The passage begins to widen, and the mist ahead thins just enough for you to see the sky beyond. It stretches out in soft gradients of color, pale blues blending into muted lavender, with strokes of gold drifting along the edges of the clouds. You can feel the temperature rise slightly, the warmth gathering around your shoulders like a comforting shawl. Once you step beyond the passage, the cloud beneath your feet feels different again. It's firmer here, thicker, as if the sky is offering you a more grounded space. The surface spreads outward into a long, broad terrace of white mist, its edges slightly lifted as though shaped by invisible hands. It curves gently, following the contours of a higher layer of atmosphere. You walk toward the center of the terrace, and something remarkable begins to unfold. The light overhead shifts, and thin beams of soft gold begin to filter down, moving in slow, rotating patterns. They're not sharp or intense. They look like drifting columns of sunlight that dance with each breath of wind. When you step into one of them, your skin warms instantly, and the light hugs your shape as if recognizing your presence. Around you, clouds rise like walls of gentle foam. They swell upward in slow-motion arcs, forming translucent domes that shift and sway with the current. These domes catch the sunlight, creating faint rainbows, that move inside their curves like liquid color. You watch as one of the rainbows stretches, then dissolves, then reforms again in a different shade. The wind carries a new softness now. It circles gently around your hands and shoulders, lifting your hair with a warm touch. You feel a sense of ease settling into your body, as if the sky itself is loosening every tightness, one breath at a time. The feeling is subtle, but unmistakably calming. A slow drift of mist rises from the terrace beneath you. At first, it appears as small wisps, but they soon gather into flowing shapes, thin streams of cloud that twist upward like gentle spirals. They move gracefully around you, never touching unless you step into them deliberately. When you do, the mist cools your skin in a soft, refreshing wave, like stepping into the shadow of a cloud on a warm day. Far ahead, you notice a new path forming. It begins as a pale streak of light running horizontally across the terrace. Then the streak brightens, spreading into a faint, glowing trail that curves gently upward. The trail flickers with subtle ripples, as if responding to the warm wind's breath. You understand the invitation without words. The warm air gathers behind you again, brushing lightly against your back. The glow ahead widens slightly, opening like a door of light. You take a slow step toward the trail, feeling the cloud beneath your feet adjust to support you. The air tastes a little sweeter here, carrying a hint of moisture and warmth. Each inhale feels like drawing in a soft ray of light, and as you begin to follow the glowing path upward, you sense that it leads to a quieter, higher layer of sky, one where the mist thins, the colors soften, and the wind becomes almost like a memory guiding you forward. The glowing path rises gently before you, curving into the brighter layers above. As you begin to follow it, the clouds beneath your feet shift into a firmer, smoother surface. It feels almost like warm stone, though still soft enough to yield slightly with each step. Every time your foot touches down, a faint ripple of pale light spreads outward, dissolving into the mist a moment later. The sky around you grows clearer as you ascend. The air thins just enough to feel lighter, as if the sky has been filtered of every heavy thought and every hurried breath. You inhale slowly, and the air settles in your chest with a warmth that spreads into your shoulders and down your arms. It's a warmth that feels less like heat and more like a gentle reassurance. As you climb, the cloud terraces below begin to fade into a soft, distant whiteness. They look like floating continents now, drifting in a slow current you can no longer feel. Above them, streams of delicate mist twist and stretch like silver ribbons, catching sunlight in shimmering arcs. Some drift close enough to touch, brushing your skin with cool little sparks that vanish instantly. Ahead, the glowing path widens into a broad arch of light. It rises like a bridge made not of solid matter, but of concentrated warmth. You step onto the arch, and it holds you as naturally as if it were crafted for your weight alone. The glow beneath your feet brightens slightly with each movement, creating a gentle rhythm that syncs with your breath. A soft sound begins to accompany your steps. Not a note, not a tone, but a faint shimmering like light vibrating quietly. It's subtle, almost hidden beneath the hum of the wind, but it follows you, responding to your motion. When you pause, the shimmering fades into silence. When you move again, it returns in soft, almost musical patterns. Halfway across the arch, the sky shifts into softer colors. The pale blues deepen into delicate gradients, merging with faint rose tints and long strokes of gold. The clouds above take on translucent shapes that resemble drifting petals, each one glowing gently as it floats overhead. They move slowly, drifting in long, unbroken paths that mirror the calmness in your own steps. A warm breeze rises, flowing along the archway like a gentle river of air. It brushes against your back, steadying your pace, wrapping around your arms in soft swirls. There's something almost affectionate in the way the wind moves now, steady, patient, familiar, as though it recognizes your presence more clearly with each step you take. Near the peak of the arch, a new formation appears, a tall column of mist that seems to stand in the center of the sky. It glows softly from within, pulsing with warm light that shifts between gold and silver. The edges of the column drift outward in slow waves, melting into the surrounding air like warm breath dissolving into winter air. You move closer, and the column responds. Its surface shimmers more brightly, the light within it rippling upward like a gentle tide. When you extend your hand, the mist pulls toward you, reaching in, a thin, glowing thread. It doesn't touch. It simply hovers near your fingertips, vibrating with delicate warmth, as if offering a greeting. You step through the misted column, and the air changes instantly. It becomes clearer, softer, enriched with a subtle warmth that spreads through your entire body. The world on the other side feels noticeably quieter, not empty, but filled with a serene stillness that settles instantly into your breath. The glowing path descends slightly, guiding you toward a new layer of clouds. These clouds look different, lighter, almost transparent, as though made from the faintest traces of morning light. They gather in long, smooth sheets that stretch toward the horizon like gentle waves frozen in time. You step onto them, and the texture surprises you again. They feel cool now, like silk soaked in faint dew, but strong enough to support your weight. The coolness spreads upward through your feet and legs, balancing the warmth in your chest, creating a harmony that feels both grounding and uplifting at once. A soft current of wind rises from below, lifting the edges of the translucent clouds in slow curls. The motion reminds you of pages turning in an invisible book, quiet, rhythmic, inviting. You watch the clouds shift, revealing glimpses of deeper sky beneath in soft shades of blue and gold. The breeze circles you once more, guiding you gently toward the far edge of this delicate cloud layer. There, another shape begins to form, something low, luminous, and slowly unfolding like petals opening in the light. Whatever it is, it glows with a warmth that feels like the sky preparing to show you something deeper, quieter, and even more serene. The luminous shape ahead continues to unfurl in slow, graceful motions. At first, you can only make out a faint outline, a soft glow curving upward in delicate arcs. But as you approach, the shape becomes clearer, taking form the way mist reveals itself when touched by early morning sunlight. It resembles a vast bloom of cloud, opening petal by petal. Each petal is made of light, thin, translucent, drifting. They curl gently outward, their edges glowing with warm hues of gold and pale rose. The bloom doesn't seem solid. It ripples softly, as if shaped by the breath of the wind itself. You step closer, and the warm air around you responds in a tender swirl. The breeze feels calmer now, steadier, as though guiding you into a space meant only for quietness. When you reach the edge of the cloud bloom, the petals drift aside on their own, parting like a curtain that moves with the gentlest intention. Inside, the air is noticeably softer. It carries a faint warmth, like the memory of sunlight lingering on your skin long after sunset. The space is round, open, and peaceful. You feel an immediate sense of release, as though stepping into this cloud bloom has lightened something you weren't aware you were holding. The center of the bloom is a smooth, gently rising platform of mist. It glows with a subtle pulse, each wave of light moving outward in slow lines that shimmer before dissolving. You take a step onto the platform, and the mist rises just slightly beneath your foot, supporting you in a way that feels both natural and quietly comforting. A soft vibration hums through the platform, deep and calm, like the slow heartbeat of the sky itself. You stand still and let the sensation travel through your legs, your chest, your shoulders. It seems to attune itself to your breathing, matching your rhythm and settling into harmony with you. As you look upward, the sky above this soft chamber changes subtly. The blue deepens into a smooth gradient that shifts with the light. Wisps of cloud drift far overhead, long, delicate lines that stretch across the sky like quiet brush strokes. They glow faintly, their edges shimmering each time a warm breeze passes through them. The wind inside the bloom moves differently. It flows in slow, circular patterns, rising and falling like the gentle motion of a tide. Each time the breeze brushes against your skin, it brings a slight warmth, as if carrying the memory of distant sunlight. When you close your eyes, you can feel the air moving around you, not rushing, but drifting, as though you're standing inside a soft, breathing sphere. You take another step forward, deeper into the platform's center. The glow beneath your feet brightens slightly, spreading in a calm ripple that touches the edges of the bloom. When it reaches them, the petals shiver gently before settling back into stillness. The entire space feels alive, but in a quiet, peaceful way, like the sky is whispering its slowest, calmest thoughts. A new current of wind rises from the far side of the chamber. It brushes across your face with a softness that carries a hint of coolness, balancing the surrounding warmth. The breeze gathers behind you, forming a gentle stream of air that guides your attention toward an opening on the opposite side of the bloom. The petals there drift apart, revealing another path, this one narrower, stretching into a higher layer of sky, where the light seems to shimmer in thin, pale waves. The clouds forming the path look delicate, like threads woven from faintly glowing mist. They curve upward in graceful arcs, forming steps that float in the open air. The wind settles warmly at your back, steady and reassuring. It doesn't push, it simply stands with you, waiting for your next movement. You take a slow breath, letting the calm of the bloom fill your chest. Then you step toward the first glowing thread, placing your foot onto it. The thread tightens gently beneath your weight, supporting you with surprising strength. The air around you shifts again, warmer now, carrying a deeper softness. And as you begin to climb the delicate steps of mist and light, you sense that the sky is leading you toward an even more tranquil layer, one where light becomes gentler, the air becomes thinner, and the wind feels almost like a quiet, guiding hand. The steps of mist beneath your feet rise gently, each one forming only when you're ready to place your weight upon it. They glow with a muted light, soft and warm, almost as though they sense your presence and shape themselves to guide you upward. The air around you grows smoother, quieter. Every movement you make feels suspended in a slow, calming rhythm. As you climb, the world below begins to drift away in soft, widening layers. The cloud bloom fades into a gentle, shimmering shape, its petals curling and uncurling with the breeze. The layers beneath it blur into a soft whiteness like distant waves viewed through warm haze. Nothing disappears. It just becomes part of a tranquil expanse, settling into a serene distance. Higher up, the air shifts again. It feels cooler on the inhale, but warms instantly as it settles in your chest. The balance is soothing, like a warm blanket touched by a refreshing breeze. This alternating comfort forms its own rhythm, a gentle wave that matches your slow breathing as you ascend. The path ahead curves slightly to the left, where the steps narrow into delicate threads of glowing mist. They seem almost fragile, yet each one is firm underfoot, as though made of something more aware than solid. They tremble lightly when touched, sending faint ripples through the air. Every ripple glows momentarily before fading like a sigh. Above you, a new structure forms, thin, translucent curtains of cloud that hang in long, soft arcs. They sway gently in the breeze, shimmering with pale colors that shift between silver, rose, and golden cream. As you approach them, they move aside in slow, graceful motions, creating a spacious opening filled with soft radiance. You step into the space between the cloud curtains, and a gentle warmth flows across your skin. The light here feels different, softer, more diffused, as though filtered through layers of quiet sky. It wraps around you, lifting your shoulders, relaxing the muscles in your arms, and bringing ease to every part of you. In the center of this open space, you notice a long, horizontal band of light drifting silently. It hovers in the air like a floating horizon, thin, steady, luminous. The band pulses faintly, each ripple spreading outward in smooth waves that blend seamlessly with the surrounding mist. You move closer, and the warmth intensifies, but never sharply. It feels like stepping into sunlight that has been softened by the sky itself. A gentle breeze rises from below, the warm current curling around your legs in slow spirals. It lifts you slightly, not enough to startle, just enough to lighten your steps. The cloud beneath you responds, forming a gentle slope that leads upward toward the floating band of light. When you reach it, the band shifts, widening into a soft, luminous platform. The edges glow faintly, like light outlining a cloud from within. You step onto it, and it holds you easily. The surface feels warm, like smooth stone left under sunlight, but still airy, still cloud-like. The platform begins to move, not forward or backward, but upward, in a smooth, drifting motion. The sky around you changes slowly. The blue deepens, blending with soft amber hues that glow near the horizon. Wisps of thin cloud stretch in delicate ribbons, drifting like quiet brushstrokes painted across an endless canvas. As the platform lifts you higher, you feel the air grow even softer. The wind here seems to move with intention, looping around your arms, brushing your hair gently, drifting across your face like a warm hand offering reassurance. When you close your eyes for a moment, The motion feels almost like floating in warm water. When you open them again, you notice a faint shimmer far above, like a ceiling of translucent light, slowly expanding as though preparing to reveal a new layer you have not yet reached. The glowing surface seems impossibly high at first, but the platform carries you steadily toward it, each moment lighter, calmer. The higher you rise, the more the world below becomes a soft, glowing blur. The entire sky feels quieter here, as if sound itself has grown delicate. And you sense that you are approaching one of the most serene levels of the sky, where every breeze is warmer, every cloud thinner, and even the light feels like it's breathing beside you. The floating platform carries you upward with the same slow, steady ease it has shown from the beginning. Yet now, its movement feels softer, more fluid, as if the air itself is helping lift you. Each moment feels stretched and gentle, like time has taken a long breath and slowed its pulse just for you. Above, that shimmering ceiling of translucent light grows clearer. It hovers like a delicate veil suspended across the sky, glowing with soft gradients that shift from pale gold to silvery white. From a distance, it seemed unreachable, but as you rise closer, it becomes less like a barrier and more like a warm invitation. Thin streams of mist begin to drift downward from the glowing veil, floating like threads of spun glass. They swirl lazily in the air around you, catching the warm current from below and coiling into soft spirals that glow faintly at their edges. When one touches your arm, it dissolves into a cool wisp, refreshing and weightless. The platform slows as if giving you time to adjust to this quieter air, to breathe in this lighter warmth, to feel the gentleness of this higher sky. The air around you is clearer now, so clear that every droplet of mist seems suspended in perfect stillness. Even the breeze moves at a slower pace, flowing like a warm tide around your shoulders. As you rise into the space just below the veil of light, the texture of the air changes. It becomes velvety, soft enough that when you pass your hand through it, you can feel a faint resistance, like touching the surface of warm water. Every motion feels deliberate, graceful, unhurried. The platform finally reaches the underside of the glowing veil, and instead of stopping, it begins to pass through it. The veil parts naturally, forming a circular opening that expands as you approach, like the sky gently welcoming your presence. Light filters down in soft sheets, and as you ascend through the opening, the world around you brightens in a smooth, quiet shimmer. The moment you emerge above the veil, the atmosphere transforms. The clouds here are unlike any you've touched before. They're thinner, lighter, almost like luminous silk stretched across the sky. They ripple gently in the breeze, glowing faintly from within, each movement catching soft pastel colors that shift with the air. When you step off the platform and onto this new layer, the cloud beneath you feels different, so delicate that it seems impossible it could support you, and yet it holds you with effortless confidence. Your foot sinks only slightly, creating a faint outline that smooths itself out the moment you lift your weight. The view around you is endless. The sky expands in every direction, long and open, filled with drifting waves of luminous mist. The colors are subtler here, soft creams, pale blues, hints of warm peach that fade and reappear in slow pulses. Everything feels slower, gentler, more open, A warm breeze rises from below, flowing across this thin cloud layer like a quiet exhale. It gathers at your back and guides you toward a faint path that forms ahead. The path isn't solid. It appears as a gentle brightening of the cloud, a stretch of mist that glows just enough to guide your steps. As you walk, the surface beneath you ripples softly, as though responding to your movement, adjusting itself to your pace. The air carries a delicate scent, not of anything familiar, but something warm and clean, like sunlight mixed with the faintest hint of fresh rain. Far ahead, the cloud layers begin to dip downward in a long, graceful slope. The gradient is subtle, but the closer you come, the more the cloud seems to fold into a quiet valley, an airy basin where the mist gathers in soft swirls. You follow the slope, feeling the cloud shift beneath your feet. The descent is smooth, almost floating. The deeper you move into the airy valley, the more the light softens around you. It dims just slightly, but not into darkness, more into a warm, dusk-like glow, as if the sky has decided to lower its voice. In the center of this valley, a soft updraft rises. You feel it touch your hands and lift your hair gently. The updraft spirals calmly, forming a loose column of mist that drifts upward before dissolving into the higher layers. Its motion is slow and hypnotic, inviting you to pause and simply watch how quietly the sky moves. You step closer, letting the updraft brush against your skin. The temperature shifts pleasantly, cooler near your arms, warmer near your chest, perfectly balanced. The entire valley seems to breathe with this subtle rhythm, swelling slightly with each passing moment. You close your eyes for a moment and feel the wind moving around you, circling, rising, settling, guiding. And as you stand in this delicate, glowing hollow of the upper sky, you sense that another layer awaits just beyond this calm. A layer even lighter, even quieter, where the air thins into something almost like a dream of itself. The soft updraft continues to swirl around you, moving with the slow assurance of something ancient and endlessly patient. Its spiraling motion feels almost like a quiet hand rising beneath your palms, guiding you gently from the center of the airy valley. The cloud beneath your feet shifts in delicate waves, smoothing itself in preparation for your next steps. As you move forward, the mist parts in slow, graceful motions, forming a narrow passageway that glows with a warm, faintly golden sheen. The walls of the passage ripple gently as though made of woven threads of light. You walk through them without resistance. Each thread dissolves at your touch, then reforms behind you like soft fabric settling back into place. The air grows quieter, not silent, just more delicate, as if every sound has been wrapped in something soft. Even your breath feels muted, blending into the calm space around you. The warmth here is subtle but constant, wrapping around your shoulders and back in a way that feels almost protective. At the end of the passage, the cloud beneath you curves upward in a gentle arc. You follow the curve, rising slowly toward a higher layer that glows with pale, pearly light. The glow becomes stronger as you ascend, but never harsh. It simply fills the air, touching your skin like warm silk. When you reach the crest of the cloud arc, the view opens again, wider than before, stretching in all directions like an endless canvas painted in shades of soft gold and muted silver. The atmosphere here feels thinner, but smoother, as though everything, light, air, mist, has become more refined. clouds drift in long, broad sheets far below, their surfaces rippling like calm water touched by distant wind. Above them, thin trails of mist curl into delicate spirals, drifting upward and disappearing in slow, feather-light motions. The higher sky glows faintly, not with brightness, but with warmth that feels almost alive. A warm, gentle current arrives at your side. Instead of circling behind you, as it did before, it moves alongside you now, quiet, steady, almost companion-like. You sense it guiding your attention to a new formation emerging ahead. It looks like a long, floating bridge made from mist and faint light. It curves gently upward, its surface smooth and luminous, its edges dissolving into the surrounding air. The bridge seems impossibly delicate, yet when you step onto it, it holds your weight easily, adjusting with a subtle firmness. The moment your foot touches it, a soft glow pulses through the structure, spreading outward in calm waves. Each step creates another pulse, slow, warm, steady. Walking here feels like moving across the heartbeat of the sky itself. As you follow the bridge, the wind shifts again, flowing in long, sweeping arcs around the path. It moves lazily, brushing against your arms and face in soft, warm strokes. You notice how the air carries faint, shimmering particles, tiny specks of light that float gently like dust illuminated by sunbeams. When they touch your skin, they cool and warm at the same time, a strange but soothing sensation. The bridge ascends gradually until it levels out at a height where the clouds beneath you seem impossibly far away. You pause for a moment, letting the open sky settle into your breath. There's a softness here that feels deeper than anything you've felt before, as if this layer of the sky knows how to cradle every thought and smooth out every lingering edge of tension. Ahead, the bridge dissolves into a flat, floating field of thin, shimmering mist. The surface looks almost like a quiet lake made of light. It barely holds shape, drifting in slow undulations that mirror your own breath. You step onto it, and the mist gathers beneath your feet, thickening just enough to support you. The field stretches outward, and at its center, a faint spiral begins to form, a gentle rotation of luminous air that moves so slowly it seems almost still. It glows softly, pulsating in warm, rhythmic intervals. The spiral widens gradually, opening like a quiet doorway carved from light and drifting air. The wind arrives behind you again, warm, steady, familiar. It doesn't push. It simply waits with you, breathing in the same slow rhythm. You take a step toward the spiral, and it brightens slightly, the glow deepening into a soft, warm hue. You step closer, the light brushing across your skin in waves that feel soothing and deliberate. And as you stand at the edge of this quiet spiral of air and light, you know it leads to a layer of sky, even gentler, even lighter, even more serene. The spiral of light before you rotates so slowly that, at first, it seems motionless, just a soft swirl suspended in warm air. But as you step closer, you notice the faintest shift in its shape, like a gentle breath curling through mist. The light pulses in delicate intervals, warm and reassuring, inviting you inward without a single word. When you step into the spiral, the air changes instantly. It becomes lighter, smoother, almost velvety. Your body feels weightless, not in the sense of floating, but as though every part of you has softened, as if all tension has melted quietly away. The spiral doesn't move you. Instead, It allows the space around you to adjust, gently lifting the cloud beneath your feet into a slow upward drift. The mist thickens into shimmering layers, rising and folding like soft silk. They glide past your arms and shoulders in delicate waves, each one carrying a faint warmth that spreads across your skin. You feel as though you're being carried upward by a warm, patient tide, a tide made of nothing but air and quietness. As you ascend, the spiral widens, opening into a vast, luminous chamber of sky. It doesn't feel like a room. It feels more like the inside of a warm cloud, glowing with muted colors that shift gently from pearl white to faint peach, then into soft gold. The light fills the space without ever becoming bright. It simply exists, wrapping around you in a calm, steady glow. In the center of this chamber, thin threads of mist rise vertically like slow-moving beams. They shimmer with gentle light, swaying softly as if stirred by an invisible breeze. When you walk past them, they bow slightly as though giving way. Their motion creates soft ripples that spread through the chamber, mixing with the warm currents around you. The cloud beneath your feet feels smoother now, firmer, but still soft, like walking on the surface of warm, compressed air. Every step leaves a faint impression that lingers for a moment before dissolving back into stillness. Your movements feel slower here, not because time has changed, but because the space encourages calm, your body naturally matching the sky's rhythm. A warm breeze circles you, tracing a gentle loop around your arms, your back, the curve of your shoulders. Its motion is tender and steady, like something alive and careful. It guides your attention toward one side of the chamber, where a new formation begins to emerge. Long, drifting layers of cloud that rise and fall like slow breathing. These clouds form a pathway, not flat, but gently undulating. Each rise and dip seems intentional, shaping a path that leads deeper into this soft upper world. The light on the path shifts subtly, glowing brighter along the rises and cooling into pale silver in the dips. You step onto the first gentle rise, and the cloud beneath you adjusts instantly, becoming slightly warmer underfoot. The next dip cools your skin, refreshing in a way that makes your breath deepen. The alternating warmth and coolness create a quiet balance, a harmony that feels strangely comforting, as if the sky is breathing with you. As you follow the undulating path, the chamber around you grows more spacious. The walls of glowing mist drift farther away, giving you a sense of openness that feels endless. The air is incredibly still here, yet never stagnant. It moves in subtle, invisible currents that brush against your skin like the softest of hands. Above you, a new shape begins to form, a large, gentle arc of light stretching across the sky like a broad bridge made entirely of glow. It's so faint you can see the sky behind it, yet so warm that your eyes are drawn to it instantly. The arc pulses softly, warming the air in long, calm waves. As you approach, the warm wind gathers at your back again, steady and supportive. You feel it settle into your breath, matching its rhythm to yours. The arc of light lowers slightly toward you, almost as if bending to meet you halfway. And in that moment, you sense that stepping onto it will lead you into a part of the sky more delicate, more serene, and more luminous than any you've touched so far. The broad arc of light bends gently toward you, glowing with a warmth that feels both familiar and new. Its surface isn't solid. You can see faint mist drifting through it, but When you place your foot on it, the ark responds with a quiet firmness, rising just enough to support you. A soft pulse of warmth travels outward from the place where you touched, like a calm heartbeat moving through the air. As you step fully onto the ark, it lifts ever so slightly, adjusting to your presence. The sensation is smooth, slow, almost like being carried by a gentle wave. The air grows warmer around you, settling in soft folds across your shoulders and arms. Every part of this place seems designed to soothe, to calm, to ease. The ark leads upward in a long, soft curve. You follow it, your steps light, almost gliding. The surface beneath your feet feels warm in some places, cooler in others, creating a quiet rhythm that synchronizes with your breath. The mist around the ark swirls gently, its motion so slow you can barely notice it unless you pause and really look. Above, the sky begins to open in delicate gradients. Pale gold melts into soft lavender, then into gentle blue. These colors don't shift fast. They ripple subtly, matching the slow, patient curves of the arc you're walking on. Long, thin threads of cloud drift high above, moving in elegant lines that seem to follow an unhurried pattern known only to the sky. Around the midpoint of the arc, the air becomes noticeably clearer. Mist thins into almost nothing, leaving behind air that feels smooth, warm, nearly weightless. Breathing here feels effortless, as if your lungs no longer need to work. They simply invite the air in, and it comes naturally. The arc gently levels out, forming a wide plateau of glowing mist. This surface shimmers faintly, not evenly, but in soft ripples of pale light, like a calm sea reflecting early dawn. You step onto it, and the glow beneath your feet brightens just slightly, then fades back into quietness. You pause for a moment. The plateau feels still, almost sacred in its softness. The wind here is barely noticeable, just a subtle warmth brushing across your skin like a whisper of comfort. When you close your eyes, you can sense the entire space breathing around you, slow and steady, holding you gently in its rhythm. When you open your eyes again, you notice something forming in the far distance, a faint, vertical shimmer, barely visible at first. It rises slowly, gaining shape as you watch. Not a structure, not a cloud, but something like a tall column of light woven with thin strands of mist. It pulses softly, like warm light filtered through translucent silk. You move toward it, each step easy, unhurried. The ground beneath you adjusts with a gentle elasticity, supporting your movement without a sound. As you draw nearer, the column becomes more distinct. It rises gracefully into the sky, its base drifting slightly like a suspended ribbon of fog. The light within it moves in slow waves, glowing warmer as you approach. A warm breeze arrives at your back again, flowing steadily along your path. Its presence feels a little different now, gentler, more attentive, almost as though it's guiding you to something important, yet calm. The breeze wraps lightly around your arms and shoulders, encouraging you forward. When you stand before the column of light, the air changes again. It feels denser, not heavy, but fuller, enriched with a soft warmth that settles into your chest like a deep, comforting breath. The mist around the column swirls lazily, forming delicate spirals that drift upward before dissolving into the sky. You reach out, not to touch, but simply to feel. The air around your hand warms instantly, vibrating faintly like a soft hum that doesn't produce sound. The column responds, its glow deepening in a smooth pulse that spreads upward and outward. Without words, without motion, you understand. This column is a threshold, a gentle passage into another layer of sky, quieter and more luminous than everything before it. You take a slow step forward. The mist around you parts like soft curtains. The warmth deepens. The sky ahead brightens, but only in the softest, most calming way. And as you begin to enter the column of light, you sense the air around you changing once more, becoming softer, thinner, and impossibly serene. As you enter the column of light, the warmth around you grows smoother, more even, as if every particle of air has softened into something gentle and welcoming. The mist within the column swirls in slow, unbroken spirals, hugging your shape without ever touching you directly. Each spiral glows faintly, breathing in a rhythm that seems to match your own. The cloud beneath your feet feels different now, lighter, almost weightless. When you step, it barely shifts, yet you still feel completely held. Your movements become slower without effort, guided by the calmness of the space around you. The light in the column thickens slightly, turning into a soft haze that clings to your silhouette like a warm aura. As you rise through the column, the world outside begins to fade into a gentle brightness. Shapes blur into soft radiance, and even the colors blend into delicately shifting tones. Pastel gold, quiet lavender, pale blue that melts seamlessly into white. The deeper you move, the more silence gathers in the air, becoming almost tangible, like a delicate fabric draped around the entire sky. The column opens gradually at the top, releasing you into a new layer of the atmosphere, one that feels impossibly serene. The clouds here are no longer soft masses or drifting sheets. Instead, they form long feather-light trails, thin as breath, glowing softly against the pale sky. They hang like suspended strokes of light, quietly drifting in the slightest wind. The air is warm, but with a freshness that feels cleansing, almost crystalline. Breathing here feels effortless, a smooth wave flowing in and out, carrying with it a sense of lightness that settles into your chest. Even your thoughts seem to slow down, dissolving into the softness around you. A faint pathway begins to take shape ahead, a series of gentle depressions in the cloud surface, like shallow steps carved by the wind. They glow just slightly brighter than the surrounding mist, forming a subtle trail that invites your attention. You move toward them, feeling the cloud adjust beneath your feet, molding to your weight with a delicate, spring-like softness. As you follow the path, the sky around you grows more open, expanding in every direction. The air shifts with a near silent motion, brushing against your skin like warm, whispering threads. The breeze is gentle and slow, almost thoughtful, guiding you deeper into this upper world without urgency. Soon, you approach a wide, low basin in the cloud layer. It's shallow, like a soft indentation in the sky, filled not with mist, but with an airy glow that ebbs and flows in quiet pulses. The glow lifts slightly with each breath of wind, rising like gentle waves and settling again with graceful ease. You step into the basin, and the cloud softens beneath you, warmer than before. The glow reacts, brightening slightly before fading back into its slow pulsing rhythm. The air here feels almost weightless, as if everything is suspended. Your body, your breath, even your thoughts. You remain perfectly supported, yet nothing presses against you. In the center of the basin, a long, smooth ribbon of brighter light appears. It floats gently above the cloud surface, undulating like a soft, luminous river. Its motion is hypnotic, slow, fluid, serene. When the breeze touches it, the ribbon flutters lightly, its glow deepening along the edges. You approach it, and the warmth becomes more pronounced, wrapping around your hands and shoulders in soft layers. The ribbon of light curves upward, forming a delicate archway that seems to shimmer with anticipation. The mist on either side gathers in subtle spirals, as though preparing to guide you once more. You step beneath the arch, and the air changes in the gentlest way. It becomes warmer near your chest, cooler near your hands, creating a balance that feels deeply soothing. The light flickers softly, echoing your movements with faint ripples. Beyond the archway lies another expanse, wide, faintly glowing, covered with thin, drifting sheets of mist that seem to tilt like quiet wings in the warm wind. The surface calls to you, not loudly, but with a subtle pull, like the calm center of a dream, drawing you closer. You stand at the threshold, feeling the sky around you breathe, feeling the warm wind at your back. And you sense that the next steps will lead you into one of the most tranquil, luminous spaces yet, where even the light rests, and the air itself feels like a soft, endless exhale. Beyond the soft archway, the sky spreads into a vast, open expanse that feels lighter than anything you've stepped into before. The mist beneath your feet has thinned to a delicate layer, so thin you can almost see the shimmering air beneath it. Yet, it still holds you with quiet certainty. Every step feels like touching a warm breath that reshapes itself to cradle you gently. The drifting sheets of cloud ahead tilt in slow, graceful motions, like feathers floating on a calm breeze. Their edges glow with faint pastel colors, pale gold, soft lavender, cool peach, shifting in a rhythm that feels almost alive. As you move closer, the sheets part effortlessly, creating a clear, gentle path that seems to emerge in response to your presence. The air here carries a smooth warmth, subtle and balanced, wrapping around your shoulders like a soft blanket. Your breath blends with it naturally. Inhale, and the warmth deepens slightly. Exhale, and the mist around you shifts, forming faint spirals that dissolve almost instantly. It feels as if the sky itself is breathing with you, echoing your rhythm in a tender, quiet harmony. You continue forward, and the light begins to change. Not brighter, not dimmer, just softer. It spreads evenly across the sky, like a thin veil of glow resting gently on every surface. There are no shadows here, only soft gradations of warmth and color. Every part of the sky feels equally calm, equally open, equally welcoming. A gentle downward slope appears beneath your feet. You follow it, sinking into a slightly lower layer where the air grows cooler, but only enough to refresh. The mist gathers around your ankles like cool, drifting silk. It lifts and sways with each motion, creating soft ripples that travel outward across the cloud surface in long, lazy waves. At the center of this lower layer lies something new, a broad, luminous circle etched into the cloud. It isn't sharp, its edges blur softly into the surrounding mist, but it glows with a steady warmth that seems to pulse with the calm heartbeat of this upper sky. The circle is wide enough that its gentle light reaches you long before you reach it. When you step into the circle, the cloud beneath you becomes smoother, warmer, as if welcoming the weight of your presence. The glow strengthens just slightly, swirling in slow, circular motions that mirror the shape of the space. The motion is so subtle it feels more like a sensation than something visible, a comforting, rounding rhythm that settles into your chest. You continue walking, and the light shifts again. Thin lines of brightness rise from the edges of the circle, drifting upward like soft columns of warm air. They stretch into the sky, forming delicate spirals that shimmer faintly in the warm wind. When you move near them, the air grows even lighter, almost buoyant, as though the sky is gently lifting you from beneath. The path ahead narrows into a long, graceful avenue of cloud. Its surface is so smooth it looks like brushed light. You follow it, and the softness around you deepens. The air here feels almost weightless. Your steps become quieter, slower, not because you try to slow them, but because the atmosphere itself encourages stillness. In the distance, you see a wide ascending shape forming from the mist. It rises like a great, gentle wave, its peak glowing with warm, diffuse light. The wave moves slowly, not forward or backward, but upward, as if the cloud layer itself is lifting, preparing to reveal something beyond. A warm breeze flows to your side again, not behind you now, but beside you, like a quiet companion matching your pace. It guides your attention to the crest of the luminous wave, where a soft, shimmering doorway begins to appear. Not a door in any literal sense, but an opening, an arch of heated mist glowing with hues so gentle they seem almost made of thought. As you ascend the wave, the air grows warmer again, settling comfortably across your skin. The mist brightens in response to each of your steps, creating faint ripples of light that drift up the slope like warm tides moving in slow motion. At the top, the shimmering opening expands slightly, inviting you forward. Beyond it lies another space, brighter, quieter, more serene than anything you've stepped into yet. You can't see the details, only soft light and warm mist, but something in the air tells you this next space is where all the invisible threads of the sky gather and rest. You pause for a moment at the threshold, feeling the warm wind circle around your arms and settle gently at your back. And as you step toward the opening, the sky ahead brightens in a soft, calming bloom, welcoming you into a final, deeper layer of this endless, floating world. The shimmering opening welcomes you with a soft bloom of warm light. As you step through it, the cloud beneath your feet becomes almost indistinguishable from the air around you, so thin, so smooth, that it feels like walking across a quiet glow rather than anything solid. Yet it supports you effortlessly, holding your weight with a tenderness that seems almost conscious. The space you enter is wide and open, stretching out in all directions in slow, gentle gradients of warm white and pale gold. The edges of the sky dissolve softly, as if the horizon has unthreaded itself into threads of light that drift quietly in the breeze. Everything here is calm, wrapped in the soft hum of stillness. The air carries a warmth that settles over your shoulders like a comforting presence. It moves in soft, steady waves, rising and falling with a rhythm so slow and gentle that it feels less like wind and more like the sky breathing around you. Each inhalation brings a faint freshness. Each exhalation melts effortlessly into the quiet. Thin sheets of mist drift lazily across the open space. They curl and fold like ribbons floating on warm water, catching soft hints of color with every subtle shift. Pale rose, muted amber, faint lavender. Each hue appears only for a moment before dissolving back into gentle light. You walk deeper into this space, and the cloud beneath you forms faint ripples that spread outward with every step. They travel in slow arcs, gliding across the surface until they fade into the surrounding glow. The ripples leave behind a warmth that lingers for several breaths before settling into stillness once more. In the distance, something begins to appear, a soft, low rise in the cloud layer shaped like a small hill formed entirely of warm mist. It glows from within, pulsing faintly in slow, peaceful intervals. The glow isn't bright. It's a kind of light that feels like warmth more than illumination. You approach the rise, and the air becomes even softer. The warmth thickens around your hands and arms, making each movement feel gentle and unhurried, as though the sky itself is helping you move. When you step onto the glowing hill, the cloud molds to your feet, supporting you with a quiet, reassuring embrace. At the top, the view opens into a serene expanse of drifting light. Here, the mist stretches smoothly in all directions, forming an enormous calm plain that feels like the resting place of the sky. The breeze is softer than anywhere else, just a slow, warm breath that curls around your shoulders and settles across your back. You sit, or rather, allow yourself to sink slightly into the surface of the cloud. It adjusts perfectly, shaping itself around you like a warm cradle. The glow beneath you pulses gently, matching your breath without requiring any effort. Inhale, and the light brightens softly. Exhale, and it settles into a gentle dimness. Overhead, long strands of luminous mist drift in slow arcs. They move with the ease of something that has never known haste. The colors shift subtly as they pass, faint gold melting into cream, cream melting into soft blue, blue fading into a quiet silver. The sky feels vast here, endless but not empty, full of stillness, full of warmth, full of the soft hum of air, moving with infinite patience. Every breeze feels like it arrives only to comfort you. Every ripple of cloud exists to ease your breathing. Every shift of light moves slowly enough to calm your thoughts without ever asking anything in return. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the warmth settle into your chest. The cloud beneath you holds you like soft hands. The air moves over your arms like a warm whisper. The slow glow beneath you steadies your breath, carrying you deeper into the moment. There is nothing to reach for, nothing to do, nothing to change. Only this gentle layer of sky holding you quietly, letting every part of you rest. Around you, the light continues its slow, peaceful drift. The breeze moves in warm, delicate strokes. The mist breathes with you, soft and unhurried. You remain there, supported by cloud and warm air, wrapped in infinite calm. And the sky, vast, quiet, endlessly soft, holds you gently, like it has been waiting all along for you to simply rest.